Welcome back to my Labour Weekend adventure. If you haven't seen part 1, I'd recommend going and watching that first before you jump into this one. After leaving the rain and the mist of Castle Hill stream behind, I headed for a place called Leith Hill. Tucked up behind Castle Hill village, it offered great views across the valley and an opportunity for a big panorama. I think what's amazing about this view is that if you take a look, there is yesterday's little climb, Helicopter Hill, follow down, and that's Cave Stream that we were at a couple of hours ago. Follows it down to the river there, and there's Castle Hill, the village, and now we're on this walk here at Leith Hill, which is yeah, it's a pretty nice view. I love the big landscape stuff. The only problem is that everything is quite distant, like it's almost too big for the type of photography I want to do, because everything is very far away, and so you don't get a lot of detail. It just feels like there's a lot of there's some foreground. I mean, you can have the foreground here, and then the midground, and then the sky, but everything is sort of set back so far. So we actually get too much information in our composition, which, you know, is not ideal. You want to be able to tell a story and create something that has meaning and flow and form, but in this case it's sort of just, there's a big landscape. But I know that people like those types of photos, so I will take a shot, because maybe I can sell it and make some money, make my petrol back for this trip, because that's one big bloody expense at the moment. But yeah, I'll set up a camera, try and get a big panorama of some sort, and we'll see how we go. So then it was back on the road, back to camp to have a quick dinner before heading to Castle Hill for the evening, hoping to capture that beautiful sunset that I was really after. And while out on these photography trips, it is important to have nutritious and delicious food. So you can see me here preparing a beautiful dinner, the delicacy known as noodles. Doesn't that just look delicious? Now, as per usual, I've left it a little late, because the last time I was here was 2.5 years ago, and it was a sunrise I did. I had no idea what the light was gonna do, and was timing it for, oh yeah, I'll have enough time to be there, walk up just before golden hour. But of course I forgot the fact that we're surrounded by mountains. And so, actually all of that really harsh light that actually looks really good, that side light that's hitting all the rocks, is starting to fade already. So I'm gonna hope for a miracle and hope that this very blue sky clouds over, and that the sun will give us some really nice pastel tones to hopefully make a shot out of what is seeming to be a bit of a rush job. I couldn't let any time go to waste. I had to head up straight to the main rocks and start hunting for compositions. Here is the scene at the moment. This cloud is just rolling in so nicely, eh? I'm really liking how it's looking, but I'm just a bit worried about what my camera can handle. I really need to upgrade to have something of full frame, because my APS-C is currently struggling to get it all in, so I'm having to panorama it so that I've got from here across, and then focus, then exposure, bracketing for the sky as well. But as this cloud rolls in, I'm hoping to sort of get some different types of shots, because once the cloud's in, I imagine the sun sets won't be amazing. So I'm just looking for composition in the rocks that'll guide your eye sort of towards the sky, or bring the fog in, you know, that enhance that mystery. But man, I'm afraid to say I am struggling a bit, mostly just because, here, we'll get out of the wind. Yeah, there we go, out of the wind. Struggling just a little bit, just because there is actually quite a lot, and I think I have this problem when I often go to take photos, and I'm not ashamed to say that I'm still learning, is that composition hunting, I know what I have in my mind, but when I get into somewhere like a beach forest or somewhere here where there's lots of stuff happening, as it's very busy, I struggle to narrow down something that's really clean and simple, and so I'm just trying to work on that, so that it's not just a whole bunch of busy mess, because that's the last thing you want. You want to be able to draw the eye into the composition and continue for people to see the, you know, to see the direction of where you want your images to go. So not ashamed to say it's a learning experience every time I come out and take some photos, and you know, whether they're going to turn out any good is up to my editing as well. But yeah, if that last shot turns out to be any good, then here's the shot. Well, if I was a real photographer, I would have been here 6 hours ago, camping in the rocks, to make something beautiful happen. But this cloud inversion is, and I'm on the wrong side of it basically, so I can't do much about it, but I'm gonna go anyways, because it's quite moody. As you can see, it's very grey, and the cloud is not down as low as I hoped, but there is light breaking through very faintly. So all I can hope is that you can see a bit of pink over there. That's where the sun's rising, that it may break through a little bit and light up. But it's okay, because even if the light is not great right now, give it a, I don't know, hour and a half, all of this stuff burns off, because it will. Something spectacular might happen, just in case. But I can see it's kind of pink over there. But yeah, I mean, it's just such a fantastic landscape. I'm not really sure where to go composition-wise. There's so many options, and yeah, there's almost too much. Like, I think I said earlier that struggling to find the compositions because everything's really busy. And I just want to simplify it by having one sort of rock. If there was just one rock, it'd be really easy, because then you just take the photo of the one rock, like that one tree and one of it. But you know, that's not the case. You've sort of got to, I don't know, either get far away to combine it into one sort of vista, or get close enough and find a composition you like with one rock amongst the many rocks. And that's something I'm still sort of just working on. But you know, look, oh look, you can see a bit of the sun hitting. Yeah, look, it's just breaking through. And of course, I'm probably a bit late. And as I walked around looking for a composition, it was abundantly clear that this trip seemed to be cursed. I couldn't quite get any of the light that I wanted, but I was determined to make the most out of it anyways. And that's the fun of being a landscape photographer. No trip will go to waste if you use every opportunity to learn and grow and experience what it's like to work with different lighting conditions and different scenes. It's nothing super amazing, but I'm hoping that the light will kick off, as it sort of is starting to, on those little bits on the edge there. So I'm just hoping and praying that it's that it's going to do something. I've got this sort of rock here in the foreground, sort of leading up, the two paths diverging, and then the rocks, the main there. Nothing too out of the ordinary really, but I'm hoping the light will give me something else as well. This place is just so rich, full of compositions that, you know, anyone and everyone can create something. So I'm really just hoping that this here is decent enough. I really, yeah, I love coming here. I think I need to come here more and explore, because the opportunities for astro, for sunrise, sunset, just everything really, you know. And I still haven't been up there yet, and the views from there will be pretty incredible as well. You know, the main rocks, it's easy. I've been up there so many times. I was there yesterday evening, but yeah, there's just a lot of opportunities for great shots. So if this shot turns out any good, here's the shot. I think this composition is actually quite strong. I can keep it in my mind and come back on a day where the light's going to be a bit better and I'll be able to get a better shot out of it. This trip was taking me back to the basics. Hard work, difficult conditions where I was not quite getting exactly what I wanted, but making the most out of it and having a great time while doing so. I was sad the trip was coming to an end, but I had one last shot to get. The sun has finally broken through and the clouds are disappearing, which is nice. It's a stunning morning. I've moved the camera. I may have waited too long, and I think the sun may be too harsh now, but as is the nature of any photography, we should just wait and see. So if you see it, then, well, it's been a good shot. And just like that, I was headed for home. This trip had helped to remind myself of 3 words that I think are so key when it comes to the art of photography: disconnect, discover, and wonder. And as I walked back to the car, I couldn't help but wonder what my next adventure would be. But before I could head home, I had one last stop to make. Finished the trip with a pie. Cheers, mate.